Hello everyone and welcome back. Have you ever known an English word in your mind, but when you tried to speak, the word suddenly disappeared? In today's story, you will meet Daniel and Emma. Daniel understands a lot of English, but he often forgets words when he speaks. Emma helps him discover a simple way to remember words and speak with more confidence. Listen carefully, repeat the useful sentences, and enjoy the story. Daniel was sitting alone in a small coffee shop near his home. He had a notebook in front of him, a cup of tea beside him, and a worried look on his face. He opened his notebook and looked at a long list of English words. Travel, he said quietly. Then he looked at another word. Appointment. He turned the page. Comfortable. He closed the notebook and sighed. Why do I forget everything when I speak? Just then, Emma walked into the coffee shop. She saw Daniel sitting by the window. Hi, Daniel. Daniel looked up and smiled. Oh, hi, Emma. How are you? I'm good. How about you? I'm okay. Emma sat down across from him. You don't look okay, Daniel laughed. Is it that obvious? A little, Emma said with a smile. What happened? Daniel looked at his notebook. I'm trying to improve my English. That's great. Yes, but I have a problem. What kind of problem? I know many English words, but I forget them when I speak. Emma nodded. I understand. You have the same problem? Sometimes, Emma said. Everyone forgets words sometimes, but it happens to me all the time. Really? Yes. Yesterday, I was talking to a foreign customer at work. He asked me a simple question, and I knew the answer. So what happened? I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Emma laughed softly. What did you do? I just smiled. That's not so bad. It was terrible. Why? Because I wanted to say, please wait a moment. I need to check the information. But I forgot the word information. Emma smiled. You forgot one word? Yes. And because you forgot one word, you stopped speaking? Daniel nodded. Yes. Emma leaned forward. That is your real problem. My English? No. Your fear. Daniel looked surprised. My fear? Yes. You think you must remember every word before you speak. Daniel looked down at his notebook. Maybe you're right. Let me ask you something. When you speak your native language, do you know every word? No. Do you sometimes forget words? Of course. What do you do then? I use another word. Exactly. Daniel thought about it. I never thought about that, Emma smiled. That's because you expect your English to be perfect. Daniel closed his notebook. So what should I do? Speak with the words you know. But what if I forget a word? Explain it. Explain it? Yes. For example, imagine you forget the word umbrella. What would you say? Daniel thought for a moment. I would say, the thing I use when it rains. Emma smiled. Exactly. That is communication. Daniel laughed. That sounds easy. It is easy. But you need practice. Daniel looked at her. Can you help me? Of course. Really? Sure. Let's practice right now. Daniel smiled. Okay. Emma looked around the coffee shop. Tell me about this place. Daniel looked around. This is a coffee shop. Good. What do you see? I see tables, chairs, people, cups, coffee. Good. Keep going. I see a big window. There are some plants near the door. There is a man reading a newspaper. Excellent. Daniel smiled. But these are easy words. That's fine. Speaking starts with easy words. Emma pointed toward the window. What is outside? Daniel looked outside. There are cars. Good. What else? There are people walking. Good. A woman is carrying a bag. Excellent. There is a ah. Daniel stopped. Emma waited. There is a what? Daniel frowned. I forgot the word. Don't worry, describe it. Daniel looked outside again. It is a place where people wait for the bus. Bus stop? Yes, bus stop. Emma smiled. See? You remembered it. I almost forgot it. But you continued speaking. Daniel nodded. That felt different. Exactly. You didn't stop. Daniel looked excited. So when I forget a word, I should describe it instead of stopping. Yes. What else can I do? You can use a simpler word. Can you give me an example? Sure. Imagine you forget the word delicious. What can you say? Very good? Yes. You can say, the food tastes very good. That's simple. And simple English is useful English. Daniel nodded. I think I always try to use difficult words. That can make speaking harder. Why? Because you are thinking about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and mistakes at the same time. Daniel laughed. That's exactly what happens in my head. Emma smiled. Your brain becomes too busy. So what should I think about? Your message. My message? Yes. Ask yourself, what do I want to say? Then use the English you know. Daniel repeated slowly. What do I want to say? Exactly. Emma took a sip of her coffee. Let's try another exercise. Okay, I'm going to ask you some simple questions. Answer quickly. Don't think too much. Daniel nodded. What did you do this morning? I woke up at 7. Then I took a shower. Then I had breakfast. What did you eat? I ate eggs and bread. What did you drink? I drank tea. Did you go to work? Yes, I did. How did you go? I went by bus. How long did it take? About 30 minutes. Was the bus crowded? Yes, very crowded. Did you find a seat? No, I didn't. Were you tired? Yes, I was. Emma smiled. You're speaking very well. Daniel looked surprised. Really? Yes, but I made some mistakes. Of course. I said I went by bus. Is that correct? Yes. What about I drank tea? Also correct. Daniel smiled. I was so focused on mistakes that I didn't notice I was speaking. That's another important lesson. What lesson? Don't judge yourself while you are speaking. Daniel nodded slowly. So first I speak, and later I can correct my mistakes. Exactly. Daniel opened his notebook again. I want to write that down. Emma laughed. You always want to write everything down. I like learning. That's good. But don't spend all your time writing. Spend more time speaking. Daniel closed the notebook. Okay, I'll speak. Good. Emma looked at him. Now tell me about your weekend. Daniel thought for a moment. Last weekend He stopped. Emma waited. Daniel continued. I went to the market with my brother. What did you buy? We bought some clothes. What kind of clothes? We bought 2 shirts and 1 pair of... Daniel stopped again. 1 pair of what? He looked confused. It's something you wear on your feet. Shoes? Yes, shoes. Emma smiled. Good recovery. Daniel laughed. I forgot shoes. That's funny. It happens. Maybe my brain is strange. Your brain is normal. Then why do I forget such easy words? Because you are nervous. Nervous? Yes. When you are nervous, it becomes harder to remember words. Daniel looked thoughtful. So confidence helps memory? Sometimes, yes. When you relax, you can access words more easily. That makes sense. Emma looked at her watch. We have been talking for almost an hour. Really? Yes, I didn't even notice. That's because you were enjoying the conversation. Daniel smiled. I think this is better than memorizing 50 words. Much better. But I still need vocabulary. Of course. But learn vocabulary through situations. What do you mean? Don't just memorize the word hungry. Use it in a sentence. Okay, I'm hungry. Good. I'm hungry because I skipped lunch. Excellent. Now I remember it. Exactly. Words become easier to remember when they are connected to your life. Daniel nodded. So instead of writing hungry 10 times, I should use it. Yes. What about appointment? Make a sentence, Daniel thought. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Good. I need to leave work early because I have an appointment. Excellent. Daniel smiled. I can remember it now. See? Yeah. Emma pointed at his notebook. Choose 5 words from your list. Daniel opened it. Okay. Here they are. Comfortable, expensive, crowded, borrow, and improve. Good. Let's use them. Daniel nodded. I bought a new chair. It is very comfortable. Great. This phone is expensive. Good. The bus was crowded this morning. Excellent. Can I borrow your pen? Perfect. And I want to improve my English. Emma smiled. Very good. Daniel looked at the 5 words. They don't seem difficult anymore because you used them. Daniel thought for a moment. I think I understand now. What? I have been trying to remember English words without using them. Yes. I thought if I memorized them, they would stay in my head. And now you know, I need to use them in real conversations. Exactly. Daniel leaned back in his chair. Emma, can I ask you something? Sure. Did you ever feel embarrassed when speaking English? Yes. When? Many times. What happened? Emma laughed. Once I was talking to someone at a hotel. I wanted to ask for a towel. That sounds easy. It should be. What did you say? I said, can you bring me a towel? Yes, but I forgot the word. What did you do? I said, can you bring me the thing we use after a shower? Daniel laughed. What did the person say? He understood immediately. So it worked. Exactly. Daniel smiled. That makes me feel better. Good. Did you feel embarrassed? A little. But you kept speaking? Yes. And that is why your English improved. One reason. Daniel looked at his notebook again. I think I've been waiting to become fluent before I start speaking. Emma smiled. That is impossible. Why? Because speaking is how you become fluent. Daniel nodded. That sounds obvious now. Many things sound obvious after we understand them. They both laughed. The waiter came to their table. Would you like anything else? Emma looked at Daniel. No, thank you. Daniel looked at the waiter. Can I have some water, please? Of course. The waiter walked away. Daniel looked at Emma. That was easy. What was? I just spoke English without thinking. Exactly. I didn't translate anything. That's progress. Daniel smiled. Maybe I can really do this. You can. But I still forget words. You will continue to forget words sometimes. Daniel looked disappointed. Always? Sometimes. Even fluent speakers forget words. Really? Yes. The goal is not to remember every word. What is the goal? To keep communicating even when you forget a word. Daniel repeated the sentence. Keep communicating even when I forget a word. Yes. I like that. Emma smiled. Now let's practice a real situation. Okay. Imagine you are at a restaurant. Daniel nodded. Okay, I'm the waiter. Got it. Emma changed her voice. Good evening. Are you ready to order? Daniel smiled. Yes, I am. What would you like? I'd like chicken and rice, please. Would you like something to drink? I'd like orange juice. Anything else? Daniel thought. No, thank you. Okay, your food will be ready soon. Daniel smiled. That was easy. Now let's make it harder. Okay, what if the waiter asks, how would you like your chicken? And you don't understand. Daniel paused. I would say, Sorry, could you repeat that, please? Emma smiled. Excellent. What if I still don't understand? You can say, could you explain that, please? Daniel nodded. That's useful. Very useful. What if I forget the word recommend? You can ask, what do you think is good here? Daniel laughed. That is much easier. Exactly. So I don't need perfect vocabulary to have a conversation. No, I just need enough words to explain myself. Yes. Daniel looked happier than before. Why didn't anyone tell me this before? Maybe they did. I probably wasn't ready to hear it. Emma smiled. That happens. They continued talking for another 20 minutes. Daniel told Emma about his family, his job, his favorite food, his childhood, and his plans for the future. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes he made grammar mistakes. Sometimes he stopped for a few seconds, but every time he continued. Finally, Emma asked, "How do you feel now?" Daniel smiled. "I feel different." How? I'm not afraid of forgetting words anymore. That's a big change. Yes. Before, when I forgot one word, I thought the conversation was finished. And now? Now I can use another word, describe the thing, ask for help, or simply say the sentence in a different way. Emma smiled. Exactly. Daniel closed his notebook. I think I have been learning English the wrong way. Don't say that. Why not? Because every mistake taught you something. Daniel smiled. That's true. Emma stood up. I have to go now. Daniel stood too. Thank you, Emma. You're welcome. Can we practice again tomorrow? Of course. What should I do before then? Speak English for 15 minutes. Alone? Yes. What should I talk about? Anything. Anything? Yes. Talk about your room. Talk about your breakfast. Talk about your work. Describe what you see. Tell yourself what you are doing. Daniel smiled. That sounds funny. It might feel funny at first, but it will help? Absolutely. What if I forget a word? Keep going. What if I make a mistake? Keep going. What if I feel nervous? Take a breath and keep going. Daniel nodded. I think I finally understand. Emma smiled. Good. They walked toward the door. Before leaving, Daniel stopped. Emma? Yes? I want to say something in English. Go ahead. Daniel took a deep breath. I know I will forget words sometimes. I know I will make mistakes. But I don't want to stop speaking. I want to practice every day, even when my English is not perfect. Emma smiled proudly. That is exactly the attitude you need. Daniel smiled back. Thank you. You're welcome. They left the coffee shop together. The next morning, Daniel woke up and looked at his phone. Usually, he would spend the first few minutes scrolling through social media, but that morning he sat on the edge of his bed and started speaking. Good morning. I'm awake. I'm still tired. I need to get ready for work. First, I'm going to brush my teeth. Then I'm going to take a shower. After that, I'll have breakfast. He stopped. He forgot a word. For a moment, he wanted to check his phone. Then he remembered Emma's advice. Keep going. He looked around his room. I'm going to clean this place. He smiled. I don't know the exact word, but that's okay. He continued talking. I need to leave home at 8. I have a busy day today. I have a meeting at 10. After work, I want to buy some food. Maybe I'll cook dinner tonight. He made mistakes. He forgot words, but he kept speaking, and that was the beginning of a new habit. Every day, Daniel spoke English for 15 minutes. Sometimes he spoke for 20 minutes, sometimes only 10, but he never waited for perfect English. A few weeks later, Daniel was at work when a new customer came in. The customer spoke English. Daniel felt a little nervous. The customer asked him a question. Daniel understood the question. He knew the answer. But then one word disappeared from his mind. For a second, Daniel froze. Then he smiled. "Let me explain it another way." He continued speaking. The customer understood. "Thank you. That was very helpful." Daniel smiled. "You're welcome." After the customer left, Daniel sat down and smiled to himself. He had forgotten a word, but this time he had not stopped. He had communicated, and that was more important than remembering every single word. That evening, Daniel met Emma again. "How was your day?" she asked. "Good." "Did you speak English?" "Yes." "Did you forget any words?" Daniel laughed. "Yes." "What did you do?" "I kept speaking." Emma smiled. "Then you are improving." Daniel nodded. "I finally understand something." "What?" "Fluent English does not mean knowing every word." Emma smiled. "So what does it mean?" Daniel thought for a moment. "It means being able to continue." Emma nodded. "That's right." Daniel looked at the busy street around them. "I used to think that confident English speakers never make mistakes. And now? Now I know they make mistakes too. They just don't let mistakes stop them." Emma smiled. "Exactly." Daniel took a deep breath. "I still have a lot to learn. We all do. But now I'm not scared. That's the most important thing." They continued, walking and talking. Daniel still forgot words. He still made grammar mistakes. He still sometimes searched for the right expression. But he no longer saw these moments as failures. Every forgotten word became a chance to describe. Every mistake became a chance to learn. Every conversation became practice. And slowly, day by day, English became less like a school subject and more like a normal part of his life. So if you are learning English and you often forget words, remember Daniel's lesson. You do not need every English word. You do not need perfect grammar. You do not need perfect pronunciation. You simply need to keep communicating. If you forget a word, describe it. If you don't understand, ask someone to repeat. If you make a mistake, correct it later. If you feel nervous, take a breath and continue. Most importantly, speak with the words you already know, because every time you speak, your brain becomes more comfortable with English. Every conversation gives you experience. Every mistake gives you information, and every small step brings you closer to fluency. So don't wait until your English is perfect. Start speaking today. Speak slowly. Speak simply. Speak every day. And when a word disappears from your mind, don't stop, smile and say, "I don't remember the word, but I can explain it." Then keep talking. That is how confidence grows. That is how speaking becomes easier. And that is how one day you may realize that the English you were afraid to speak has become the English you can use naturally. Keep speaking, keep practicing, keep going. Your words will come.